Hi, I'm Serenity. Our resolution is that to avoid stigma and discrimination, deaf students should attend deaf schools instead of mainstream schools.
Hi, I am Marissa. We are Group 4, and we are debating if deaf students should be able to go to mainstream schools rather than deaf students going to deaf schools.
Hi, I'm Sebastian, and I'm presenting the argument. We understand that you said that there are concerns about stigma and discrimination in mainstream schools, but they actually provide opportunities for deaf students to engage with a wider community, access diverse resources, and advocate for inclusivity, which can ultimately break down barriers and reduce stigma.
Hi, I'm Katie. One of the key reasons why deaf students should attend mainstream schools is because of legal protections against discrimination. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, public schools are required to provide equal access and accommodations for deaf students. So, according to the U.S. Department of Education, these legal protections help prevent discrimination and create a supportive educational environment where deaf students can thrive alongside their hearing peers. This shows that mainstream schools are legally bound to ensure equal treatment and inclusion, making mainstream schools a great option for deaf students.
Our next piece of evidence is from the article World Federation of Deaf World position paper on inclusive education, which states, mainstream schools give deaf students the chance to interact with hearing peers, which gives awareness and understanding of deaf culture. According to the World Federation of the Deaf 2022, inclusive education helps deaf students integrate better into society and can reduce discrimination over time. With having an interaction between deaf and hearing students, it promotes greater social comprehension and reduces the senses of isolation, and the students may feel in more isolated environments. This piece of evidence is important because if deaf students are able to interact with their hearing peers, they are able to feel more inclusive with society and with their peers, which allows them to not feel loneliness and feel left out or isolated, which they were able to interact and be more social with other students in the class, which are the hearing students.
Our next piece of evidence is from Hands and Voices by Ruth Mathers, which discusses that all children deserve a free and appropriate education. It is the common thought that a student with hearing loss in a mainstream placement will receive a superior education through exposure to typical peers and the instruction in the typical classroom. Certainly, there are mainstream students who have thrived in the mainstream setting because they were well prepared to enter mainstream, or because they received excellent support services while they were in the classroom, which will help them thrive in the real world with other hearing children and have access to the diverse community since they attended a mainstream school with other children. Why? Because it helps improve social and communication skills and the opportunity to learn in a standard classroom environment and preparing them for the real-world challenges. The mainstream setting offers exposure to diverse community, promoting inclusion and enhancing their overall educational experience.
Our last piece of evidence is many mainstream schools have adopted programs to raise awareness about deaf culture and promote inclusivity. According to the American Education Research Association in 2020, training programs for educators and students can significantly reduce stigma and make a supportive environment for deaf students. Schools that implement such programs can decrease instances of discrimination. In another sense, mainstream schools can come up with accommodations for deaf students and hard of hearing kids that allow the process to be as smooth or easier for them to be able to learn everything that they need to know and move on in their learning process and into their future.
Our counter argument is having deaf students attend mainstream schools will make them feel less isolated and there will be a decrease in discrimination.